Welcome to Silver Bar Stacker, folks. I hope everybody's doing well and enjoying their Sunday. That's right, folks. Today's Sunday, we got a very special unboxing from our friend Spokane Silver Stacker. So I'm very, very excited to crack open into this package. And what we're actually going to be unboxing today, it's something that I'm actually aware of, but let me make you all aware of what it is that we're going to be unboxing. Now, what we're going to be unboxing is not just any package from Spokane Silver Stacker, but I recently attended one of Spokane Silver Stacker's YouTube auctions, and this was just kind of like a pop-up impromptu auction that was happening, and he wasn't really planning on doing anything too fancy, but you know, he typically takes trips to his LCS, and when he goes to his local coin shop, he's always able to pick up absolute fire. And let me tell you, when I say fire, let me say that his LCS does have the fire. So he's always frequently picking up some very, very nice pieces, and sometimes it's so many pieces that it just gets to be out of his budget, and so then he has a little bit of overflow merchandise that he's then able to offer back to the community. And let me tell you, folks, the early bird gets the worm always. That's a theme I like to always bring back. It always comes into play here on the SBS website, but when it comes down to auctions in general and kind of being at the right place at the right time, I would say the early bird gets the worm when you're taking part in newly formed auctions and recurring auctions. Now, Spokane Silver Stacker does a great job with his auctions on YouTube, and I believe he also may do some streaming on Whatnot as well, like we do, but I've got to say, he runs some very entertaining auction, and he's got some great merchandise. Now, auctions are a great place where you can get a killer deal on merchandise, and in fact, many of the times, a lot of the merchandise that you find on the SBS website, we kind of have a large-scale storefront that's highly specialized in particular things, but we source a lot of our things oftentimes from auctions, because a lot of times our stuff, it's secondary market, they don't make them anymore. A lot of times, in many cases, they're actually hard to come by, and you don't always have them readily available, right? And so in that case, a lot of times, many of our items do end up being sourced on auctions, because a lot of times they're one-of-a-kind items. Like you might have some one-of-a-kind item that happens to be one on an auction. So in this case, we take part in Spokane Silver Stacker's auctions, and I was very, very happy to find out that there were in fact many items that we actually sell on our website as permanent products. And I was very happy to find out that he had many of these items available on auction, and truthfully I was able to get them for a very, very good price, or at least a reasonable price. You know, now I'm very, very willing sometimes to pay the same price that I paid to actually get the item, meaning my cost basis. I'm sometimes willing to pay my cost basis, or sometimes even a little bit more than my cost basis, to when I'm trying to restock my items, because in many cases you can't get them easily, or you can't get them at all, right? Very easily. So because of that, when I sell through them, sometimes it becomes a difficult situation where it's difficult to kind of restock them after I've sold them, because after I've sold them, then it's harder to find them at that point. And so sometimes I'm willing to pay a premium past what I've paid in the past and average up my price on particular merchandise if I feel that, you know, these prices are sort of trending up. You know, a lot of items in particular, you know, for example, the Engelhard 10-ounce bar, I used to see those, just talking to one of my suppliers, we used to see those very recently, in the very recent past, you could get those for under $300 easy. Now, you'll be hard-pressed to find one of those bars for under $300 due to the recent price increase, yet people are very much wanting them now that they're above 300. Now all of a sudden everybody wants them. When they were under 300, they were just sitting there collecting dust, and I witnessed that. I agreed with my supplier. I said, yep, I witnessed that, because I was sitting there definitely buying many 10-ounce Engelhard bars when they were in that lower range, but I actively saw other people not, because the in-stocks wouldn't change after, you know, my purchases. So I saw them for sitting weeks at a time at those price ranges and nobody buying them. And so that's just an interesting observation. But regardless, all I got to say is that auctions can be a very, very great way to source things, and sometimes you average up, sometimes you average down, sometimes you try to at least maintain your cost basis on your particular inventory. So obviously my goal is to decrease my cost basis over time so that I can decrease my prices, make things more accessible over time. But in some cases, if it's a rare item and then it's a high demand item, then we sell through them, then it's very hard to replace them. Then sometimes we need to pay up for the next unit that we restock, and the price is up. Now, why am I telling you all this? Because I want to actually kind of be a little bit transparent and tell you how great of a deal or how terrible of a deal I got on these auction wins that I got from Spokane Silver Stacker. Now, I'm not in the business of really trying to get a terrible deal on items, so typically if I'm going to win an item on auction, then I'm going to typically be happy with my bid price for the most part, because I have a max bid in mind, and I know how much I'm willing to pay for a particular item, and so if I can get it for under that price, then I'm happy, right? And so that's typically how auctions run in general. Like, people will put in their max bid price where they're willing to pay, and then hopefully they get it for lower than that. And sometimes the prices end up really high and people overpay on things. For example, I saw AppMex running a live auction on their eBay account the other day, and I saw people paying over $70 an ounce for these Godzilla and King Kong 1 ounce silver rounds. So I'm not sure, I'm sure those are some sort of limited mintage, and they came in the original packaging and stuff like that. So, I'm not sure if that was a good deal or a bad deal at $70 plus an ounce, but I saw a couple of them sell for that, and they had thousands of people tuned in, and so perhaps the FOMO got into people and they overpaid. But I don't know. One of my suppliers was saying, no, $70 is a pretty good deal on those Godzilla rounds. So I don't know. I'm not sure if they got a good deal or not. I'm just saying that's what the market price was. So maybe if you were in the business of selling those rounds, you might want to try to get them for cheaper than $70, because then technically you're averaging down on what you feel the market value is. And so that's kind of how these stores run, how they're able to improve their prices. So now Spokane Silver Stacker, I bought from him in the past, and so he is technically an official supplier of and partner of SBS here. Like we've he's able to pick up some very nice items, and a lot of times those items are in line with what we sell on the website. So in fact, all of these items that I was able to pick up today are on the website. And so let me tell you whether I got a good deal, a great deal, a terrible deal. I was just trying to support him, and so I overpaid for everything. Let me tell you how good of a deal or bad of a deal I got on Spokane Silver Stacker, and we're going to do a price comparison with these exact same items on the SBS website, and we're going to tell you if we feel we got a good deal or if we got a bad deal. And sometimes, for example, one of the items I got here is a Libertad, a Mexican Libertad, and now this is a first-year Mexican Libertad, and so the last time I sold this, I've only had one of these in stock in the past, and I sold it for a certain price. And I'm not exactly sure if the price of Mexican Libertads, first-year Mexican Libertads, is kind of trended down or trended up. This is an ungraded Mexican Libertad, So we'll have to do some research on that as well and try to figure out, hey, did I sell it at a reasonable price? What is kind of the going rate right now for that particular item? And then we'll also go ahead and figure out, was it a good deal or a bad deal? So let's go ahead and open up this package first and foremost. 8 minutes in and we haven't done anything. We have a note from Spokane Silver Stacker. So before we get into anything, we will take things out, but before we get into anything, we will read that. We got an awesome sticker there as well. So let's take a look here. Silver Bar Stacker, thanks for your support. I appreciate you stopping by the auction and making a purchase. I think you'll be happy with the pieces. I think I will too, because I'm exactly sure what I got. So I know exactly what's in here, and I know that I'm going to be happy with them. So I appreciate you so much, man. God bless Spokane Silver Stacker SSS. Appreciate you, man. God bless. Now let's take a look at this beautiful new sticker here. Spokane Silver Stacker. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. John 3:16. That's a beautiful sticker, man. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and see what we've picked up from Spokane Silver Stacker, and let's see if we feel it is a good deal. All right. I'm just gonna do a spoiler alert. It is a good deal because Spokane Silver Stacker has great prices. You really got to stop by his auctions and you got to do it fast, because otherwise the prices aren't going to be good anymore. Once more people go there, right, then it's not going to be good prices anymore. So straight off the bat, we've got absolute fire here. We've got some Sunshine Mining silver rounds, okay, 999 fine silver. And Sunshine Mining indicates that this is a vintage round. This is not just the silly old modern Sunshine Minting round with a T. This is a Sunshine Mining round without a T. So Sunshine Mining means it's vintage, Sunshine Minting means it's modern. So 1 troy ounce fine silver. And over here we also have a Sunshine Mining round. So we've got 2 vintage Sunshine Mining rounds, and Sunshine Mining rounds truthfully are a product on my website. Now I picked these up for $34 each, right? There was actually only one up for bid, or a couple up for bid, but he had duplicates of both of those. So I actually ended up winning the bid on this at $34 an ounce, which I personally felt was a good deal. That's actually around my cost basis, truthfully. I think my cost basis, well, I can tell you what my exact cost basis is if you really would like to know. My exact cost basis on random design Sunshine Mining rounds is $32.16. Okay, so you'll see whatever the price is on my website. That's the price I offer, because I do want to sell these profitably. I don't want to sell them at a loss or break even. If I'm going to sell them, I would like to sell them at a little bit of a profit. And I also have to take care of any overhead, such as like the shipping costs, because shipping is free on the website. So I picked these up for $34, and my cost basis is actually $32.16. And so I actually, in this case, averaged up. I was trying to be supportive of Spokane Silver Stacker, but I wouldn't say that I got a bad deal on this, because truthfully, I didn't really average up that much. So in my opinion, I've sold, quite a few of these rounds in the recent past, and so for me, it was really great to be able to get some Sunshine Mining rounds. Now let's take a look at these Sunshine Mining rounds. These are 1984s, okay? Now 1984s, these will have a reeded edge, and there's no serialization on these rounds or anything. If the 1983 and prior rounds will have serialization on them around the edge of the rim. Now 84 rounds is something I would just kind of toss into my random year Sunshine Mining round listing, because I've got a Sunshine Mining dated round listing on my website. Okay, so if we actually go onto my website and we took a look at that, let's go ahead and go onto the Silver Bar Stacker website. And let's go ahead and see what the price of our Sunshine Mining silver rounds are. Sunshine Mining round. Doing a search for that. Here we go. $37.50 is our current price for Sunshine Mining rounds. So I just picked it up for 34 bucks. I actually, in this case, I might have to increase my price, actually. I think my price is a little low here, because I'm including shipping here. And in reality, I think I have it priced like this because I was trying to be competitive with the market, but truly I'm losing money on this, because my cost basis was $32.16, and I just averaged up by picking up some rounds at 34. And the thing is I didn't pick up just 2 rounds at 34. I picked up, I believe, 5 rounds at 34. So here's the thing. We got 1, 2, 3. We got 3 more rounds here, and so that's 5 rounds that I picked up at 34. My price right now is $37.50, and let's take a look at the eBay price as well. Like if we go just Sunshine Mining silver round, let's just search for that right now. Do buy it now. Search low to high. $34.99 is the cheapest one, and then it goes up to $36.99, and then it goes up to $37.43. And this is all, in some cases it might be shipping, in some cases it might be etc, etc, but in this case we include everything. So our out the door price right now is going to be $37.50. Okay, so we're kind of right in line with the market, but we're actually honestly going to be increasing our price soon, because our random year Sunshine Mining rounds actually are costing us a little bit more when we factor in the shipping costs and then the website fees and the overhead and etc and our markup. So that kind of explains to you, okay, we averaged up a little bit, but hey, here's the thing: are these things always going to be, around the $37 mark? I have a feeling potentially that they might increase in price, because I have not really ever seen them truthfully go down from that $34 mark, really $32 mark. I've not really had many opportunities to buy these under the $30 range. It's happened. I mean, I've certainly sold some at that price just as kind of like a marketing thing on auction and stuff, but it's very difficult to find a Sunshine Mining 1 ounce round for under $30, right? So I feel that if you can get them for under 40, with everybody's markup and shipping and all that kind of stuff, then you're sitting okay. If you have to pay more than 40, then in the current present time, maybe that might be a little bit more expensive. But in this case, let's take a look at these rounds. These rounds are all still in the original factory seal. So this is something, I mean, you would potentially get an original factory sealed round in the random year Sunshine Mining listing. And you might possibly get one of these, because this is also, again, 1985, 1984. So you got 184 in the original factory seal, and you got 285s in the original factory seal. So I mean, I kind of value these a little bit more than the unsealed ones, but in reality, these are all going to be lumped in with my one listing of 3750 or 3795, whatever it was, soon to be higher. Okay, so in reality, I feel that I got a pretty decent deal here, but not a great deal on the Sunshine Mining rounds. But I'm happy to have been able to pick up another 5, because now it's kind of like, okay, cool, now I've got another 5 in stock. So I've been able to replace the last 5 of these that I recently sold in the recent past. So I feel that the Sunshine Mining rounds, personally, while it wasn't like a huge win on the averaging down, I feel that it was a really great opportunity to pick up some rounds that truthfully are not that easy to come by. It's not like you can just go to your local Walmart and pick up some Sunshine Mining dated rounds, right? These are some truly nice collectible pieces, and I'm really, really glad to have had the opportunity to win these. There were a few other people gunning after these, but I came out the victor because I really wanted these. Okay, and I'm happy to have been able to pick these up. So this is an example of a pretty good value, I would say, because I'm hard pressed to find, honestly, for $34. We just looked on eBay. There's not a single Sunshine Mining round I can get for $34 out the door on eBay. So I feel that I did really good on these, truthfully. Yeah, it's a little higher than, it's a little bit, I charge a little bit more than this, and I'm just probably going to charge even more than I charge now. But I feel that this was a great opportunity for me, since I was in the market to buy Sunshine Mining rounds. I feel that I got a great deal on Spokane Silver Stackers auction. Now let's take a look at some of the other pickups I have. There was really only a couple more pickups, and one of the pickups right here you will see is a Bunker Hill round. Now this is another product that is on our website. Let's take a look at the Bunker Hill round. Bunker Hill round is actually a very cool round, in my opinion. Now this round looks like this consistently. There's 5 different variations of this, but all variations will have this sort of a face. Okay, it'll have the Bunker Hill logo, which is quite an iconic logo, and it'll say the Bunker Hill Company, Kellogg, Idaho, 1981, Bunker Hill Silver, 1 troy ounce, 9995 fine silver. And then it says a subsidiary of Gulf Resources and Chemical Corporation. So these rounds were actually produced not by Bunker Hill Silver. They were produced using silver from the Bunker Hill mine, and they were produced by the Metal Arts Company out of Rochester, New York. Now, Metal Arts Company also, outside of Engelhard and Johnson Matthey, the Metal Arts Company out of Rochester, New York, also produced the MTB Liberty bars. So they also produced the bars, right? So not the 5 ounce bars. I'm showing you a 5 ounce bar right now, but the Metal Arts Company, who produced this Bunker Hill round, also produced some 1 ounce variations and 10 ounce variations of the MTB Liberty bars. So you will see, just like this one has a Johnson Matthey stamp on the back, and some 5 ounce bars have Engelhard stamps on the back, there are 1 ounce and 10 ounce variations that will have an MA stamp on the back. That MA stamp stands for Metal Arts. Metal Arts is the name of the company that is on the rim of this round. So if you take a look at the rim of this round, like I showed you before, it says the Metal Arts CO Company, meaning Rochester, New York. Okay, so that company produced this awesome round. This round Came in 5 different variations, and this is the first of 5 variations. These rounds here each commemorate a different part of the Bunker Hill Company's history, and so this is the very first round in the series of 5 rounds. Here you will see a prospector here with his donkey, and this is going to showcase the very beginning of the Bunker Hill history. Discovery of the Bunker Hill lead silver lode. Noah, Kellogg, and the Jackass. BH1 round, so the Bunker Hill 1 round. Wardner, Idaho, September 4th, 1885. Okay, so this is the BH1 round. So it's the first round in a series of 5 rounds, and this round was limited at like 30,000. So here you will find an actual Bunker Hill Company set, medallion set. This is what was produced by the Metal Arts Company, and it originally came in these binders, it originally came in these capsules, and it originally came with this informative information about each of the rounds. Now I was saying that there's a BH1 to a BH5 round, so this actually gives you information about each of those rounds. So the BH1 round, which is what we were just looking at right here, it says, according to legend, a burro belonging to Noah S. Kellogg, a destitute but tenacious prospector, broke its tether one night and strayed from camp. After a 3-day search, Noah found the Jackass on September 4th, 1885, in Milo Gulch, above what is now the town of Wardner, standing on the glistening outcrop of the Bunker Hill lode. Named after the famous Revolutionary War battle, the mine now consists of over 150 miles of tunnels and drifts extending from 3,600 feet above sea level to 2,000 feet below, and has produced over 35 million tons of lead, zinc, silver ore in its 95 years of continuous operation. That is phenomenal. So that right there gives you a little bit of introductory history about the Bunker Hill Mining Company. Now, Bunker Hill was responsible for mining lead, zinc, silver, all of these items, all of these precious metals. And so I actually have examples of zinc, examples of lead. I even have these gigantic lead ingots. Let me show you. This is actually 50% tin and 50% lead. Crazy, right? 50-50. So, you know, Bunker Hill produced a lot of stuff. 35 million tons of lead, zinc, silver ore. That is insane. So I was very happy to be able to pick up this round, because if you actually notice right here, 30,000. Mintage has been limited to approximately 30,000 of each. So there's only 30,000 of each of these rounds that exist. That's much rarer than even a Prospector round. So I really like to pick up these BH rounds, and I feel that I got a very good deal on this. I don't know if it was 32 or 35, but truthfully, it truthfully doesn't matter, because if I go onto my website right now and I search for what I sell this for, random design, right? Because there's 5 different designs of this. I'll sell a random design, unsealed, you know, without the obviously original binder. I would just sell you a random design Bunker Hill silver round right now. It's $55 on my website. $55, and I got this for 32 or 35. I can't remember exactly. So in my opinion, I got a killer deal on that. If you know, if I'm selling this for 55, that's because that's around my cost, a little bit above my cost. So I feel that I got a pretty good deal, honestly, on this Bunker Hill round. If I can get this for sub 40, I feel that's a very good price. Now when I go on eBay, I cannot find this round for under $44.99. This exact round, actually, right now I see one seller selling a single one for $44.99. Now that's not something I can compete with. Maybe that person might be desperate to sell or got a great price at it. Maybe found them out at LCS or something like that. But just like Spokane sold me this for under 40. I could not sell this for 40 or under 40 or 45 because my cost just simply does not allow it. I would rather just keep the round than sell it at a loss, if that makes sense. So, right now the eBay price is around 45, before your tax, and maybe sometimes there might be shipping and stuff attached to that. In the SBS website case, for the time being at least, it's 55 out the door. And I got this from Spokane for under 40. I think around 35 or 32 if I got to be quite frank. So truthfully, I feel I got an extremely good deal on this Bunker Hill round, and I'm very, very happy about this pickup. I'm much happier about this pickup, especially because I got it around the same or lower price than these Sunshine Mining rounds. I feel that this was an extremely good pickup on my part. Now, perhaps this is just a slept on round right now and people just are not that interested in it, but I mean, in my opinion, it's established right here in the binder that there's only 30,000 of these out there. So in my opinion, this is a really, really nice round. On these Sunshine Mining dated rounds, I really don't know the mintage on any of them. Even the serial ones that have the serial numbers around the rim, like the 82s, 83s, and 81s, I still don't know what the actual mintage is on those rounds. The only thing I know the mintages on are going to be your proof rounds. So your 1980 has a mintage of 25,000, and then you've also got your 82 and 83 proof rounds, which have a limited mintage, I believe, of like 10,000, because those came in actual binder sets, just like this Bunker Hill Company binder set. So those Sunshine Mining proof rounds, I know the mintage of. The serialized and unserialized Sunshine Mining data rounds, I don't know the mintage of. So in my opinion, it's a little bit more. These should be carrying a little bit more of a premium. And if you look on eBay and stuff like that, they do carry a higher premium than your Sunshine Mining rounds. Regardless, I felt that I got a really good deal on all of these rounds. Now, one final item that I was able to pick up at the Spokane Silver Stacker auction, which I'm extremely excited about, because this is truthfully not an item that I carry on the store as a permanent product. I'm not really into government minted bullion, but there are some pieces of government minted bullion that I do like. Very, very few. Okay, and the Mexican Libertad is one such piece, and a lot of times I am very particular about what I will feature on my site. Like I don't have a huge stock of these items, but I'll be particular. Like Canadian Maple Leaf, I might have like some factory sealed ones on hand, or some nice backdated older ones, right? American Silver Eagles, I'll have none of them because I don't really like those that too much. I know that there are American, legal tender, but truthfully, I don't really like those coins very much. I feel that other legal tender coins, such as the Mexican Libertad, are much more superior, have a much nicer design, lower mintage, more collectability, and all around just a much nicer coin. So Mexican Libertad is also something where it's not like I'll always have all years available, but every once in a while, if I come across a Mexican Libertad that strikes my fancy, I might toss it in my SBS exclusive section. So maybe I might have some nice graded Libertad that's nicely toned or just in very good blast white condition. Maybe I might have a nice first year Libertad. I recently sold the first year Libertad on the SBS website, and we only had one in stock, and so it was priced fair in my opinion, but I wouldn't say that it was priced very, very low. I mean, Mexican Libertads are highly collectible, and especially when you're looking at specific dates, like certain key dates, and depending on the condition, they can be very expensive, especially once they become in graded condition. Now, even raw Libertads in very good condition can also be sold at quite a premium. Now, I was able to pick up this Libertad, and it actually tickled my fancy because I've actually sold a Libertad just like this. It's a 1982 Libertad. Now, 1982 Libertad is going to be your first year that they ever made the Mexican Libertads. Now, I happen to be able to buy out a Mexican Libertad in a collection a very long time ago, and I actually got a really great price on that, honestly, because I had done a very, very large trade, upwards of $10,000. I did a very big trade of trading a lot of my platinum and gold for lot of vintage silver. And in that vintage silver load included a very beautiful first year Mexican Libertad. And so I had the pleasure of being able to put that onto my website at what I felt was a pretty competitive price, because it was in line with the market at that time. And I also was able to make a pretty healthy profit on that particular one sale, because I had gotten it at a pretty good cost basis of about $30. So $30 for a Libertad, especially a first year Libertad, I feel is a very good price. And so I was able to get a very nice cost basis on that one unit that I had. And I was actually able to list that, and I did list that at that time for $65. I listed this first year Mexican Libertad for $65 at the door, which I felt was a pretty fair price. That was pretty much in line with the market price at that time. This is several months back. Or at least I felt it was, and it sat there for a little while, but we eventually found an interested buyer, and they happily bought it at that price. And so that was my one and only Libertad, and so that was not a permanent product on my site. And so after it sold, I just kind of kept it in the archives there on the site, and never really restocked it, because it's not something that I actively tried to restock. It was just kind of a one-off item I had in the SBS exclusive section. It was an SBS exclusive because you're getting that exact first year round, kind of a key date round there. Okay, and I particularly like those old Mexican Libertads because they have a nice etching along the edge. So in this case, you'll see Libertad is etched right there on the edge of the round. Independencia y Libertad. Okay, and this is an extremely beautiful condition first year Mexican Libertad. So this exact round, not this exact round, but a first year Mexican Libertad in particular, I had featured on the website. And that one in particular was also in quite good condition, and like I said, I sold it for $65. I feel that that was a very good price for the buyer. I mean, I feel it was a fair price for the buyer. I got this for less than $40. I think I paid what, $38 for this, if I'm not mistaken. I'm completely blanking on all the prices that I paid. Let's go ahead and figure that part out first. Okay, $246. So I know $6 was the shipping cost, which is quite reasonable in my opinion. I mean, it's not as good as my shipping cost, which is $0, but you know, $6 is very reasonable in my opinion, honestly. Okay, so it's $246 minus $6 shipping, right? Because we want to know what is the actual cost of the silver. So $240 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ounces of silver. We got 7 ounces of silver here, and we paid $240 for that. That's $34.29 an ounce, what I paid on average. So I paid less than $35 an ounce for this. Now, truthfully, the cheapest item that I have on my website is $33. I've said that like a week or two ago. I still have that same item because no one's bought them, but $33 is like the cheapest item that I have on my site. And so I feel that $34.29 being an average cost for these nice premium items is a great deal. Because like I was telling you, I sell a 1982 Libertad for $65. I might have, now that I have that, I'll put it back on my website and we'll see what the price will be. But truthfully, I got that for an average cost of less than $35 if you look at all of these being the same cost, which they weren't. They were slightly different. I think I did pay up possibly the most for that Libertad. But so I think the Libertad itself might have been $36 if I'm not mistaken. And then these other items like the Sunshine Mining were $34, and the Bunker Hill was somewhere around there as well, which brought me down to an average cost of just below $35. Okay, so if I look for a Mexican Libertad, and I'm looking for specifically a first year Mexican Libertad, because a first year Libertad is much more desirable because it's the first year that it ever came out. So let's go ahead and see what the cheapest one I can find right now is. $44.11 is the cheapest. And that seems to truthfully be in a little bit worse condition than the one I have. And if I'm also looking at one for $44.96, and even that one looks like it might be in a little bit worse condition that I have here. So $44.96 plus tax and blah 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 shipping in some cases is going to be your floor for your first year Mexican Libertads. And so I feel that out of all these, you know, even this is a $45 round, this is a $45 round minimum. and I'm selling this for 65. At that time I was selling it for 65. Maybe the prices have kind of gone down on the Libertads, I'm not sure, or maybe I was ripping people off. I'm not sure what you want to look at it like, but I was selling these for 65, and truthfully I'd still sell this for probably around 65, even though you can probably go find them for 44, 45 in some varying condition. This particular round I'd probably sell this honestly for 65. It's got a little bit of toning there, but otherwise it's quite beautiful condition. And truthfully, if somebody's not going to buy it for 65, I'd rather just keep this beauty for myself, honestly, because it's my only one, right? So I did buy this with the intention of like, yes, now I already have a listing for a first year Libertad on my site that's out of stock. Now I can restock it. But truthfully, if nobody buys it, you know, for around my asking price, I would just happily just keep it, you know. So I personally feel that, you know, had you been attending these auctions, you could have outbid me, paid like $1 more for these items, maybe if I didn't outbid you. And then you could have gotten a great value on these items had you been attending Spokane Silver Stacker auction. Now, if we're comparing Spokane Silver Stacker's auctions and prices compared to my prices on the SBS website, you know, I don't know. I think personally Spokane Silver Stacker has better prices. I mean, he buys stuff from me, I buy stuff from him, and so, you know, sometimes we have what the other person wants, and sometimes we like to just support each other. But truthfully, if I had to be honest about it and be as unbiased as possible, which is almost impossible, I would truthfully say that Spokane Silver Stacker has better prices. But honestly, when it comes down to, let's say, the Sunshine Mining rounds, honestly, if you were attending my auctions, almost each and every single Sunshine Mining round I have ever sold on auction has sold for less than $30. Almost every single one, with the exception of, like, I mean, if it's got like an eBay auction or something, then they'll usually sell for more than 30. But you know, if I'm doing like my Whatnot auction, which is like a true crazy test, because like you things sell for very low on Whatnot, truthfully. Almost, since people aren't really clued in on the vintage too much, and they're not very educated on the subject, and they don't really understand like what is so special about a Sunshine Mining round, most of the Sunshine Mining rounds I've sold on auction have been selling for less than 30. So honestly, I paid up $34 a piece for these, and I feel that, you know, honestly, my prices on my auctions are better on the Sunshine Mining rounds, historically speaking. But my buy it now prices are a little bit higher, right? Like, I was able to win these on the auction at least this week. I don't know if this will be the case on future auctions that he sells Sunshine Mining rounds, but at least this week I was able to pick these all up for $34 each. And if you went onto my website now, or at least last week, you know, they would have been $37.50, right? Which is an extra $3.50 that you would have to pay compared to what you would have paid if you won these on auction, right? On Spokane Silver Stackers auction. But if you won these on SBS auctions, you probably get these for under 30, right? So you got to be at the right place at the right time, right? And now, more in line with that statement of you got to be at the right place at the right time, had you bought these on the SBS website like last week, then they would have been $37.50 like I was showing you. But in reality, you know, now I realize that, gosh, if I want to restock these, it's going to cost me at least $34. I got to add my markup. I got to add the shipping costs, you know. If somebody just buys one round, I got to make sure that I'm not completely losing my money on that. And so, truthfully, my random year Sunshine Mining rounds might end up being close to the $40 mark or more in the very near future, if not already, right? So you kind of have to compare. You know, one place where you buy stuff is not always going to be the best place to buy stuff, and you know, the prices kind of vary a lot of the time. So in this case, I give you a clear example. The Sunshine Mining rounds, it's kind of like, well, if you're buying them in auction, then it depends where you buy them. If you're buying them as a buy it now, then, you know, maybe Spokane can get you a slightly better deal there, right? And then when it comes down to the Bunker Hill rounds and the more collectible stuff, I think I really came out ahead there, because truthfully the market value on these items is much higher, right? And I was able to get these same a little bit more collectible rounds for a better price. You know, not necessarily a better price, but around the same price, which in my opinion is a better value, right? So just something to consider. I thought this would be a fun unboxing to just see what we picked up from Spokane Silver Stacker and what we were able to obtain from his awesome auction. I also want to invite you to go check out his auctions, give him a subscription, make sure you have your bell notifications on. That way when he goes live, you'll know, you know, and you can join in on the fun and bid on things as well. it's very easy to just pay him. You just build a wallet and it's super easy. So I had a lot of fun during his auction. It was the first auction I really honestly took part of. I know he's been doing them for a while, and so I was happy to kind of support him during that auction. And I was really happy that he had absolute fire, really in line with the things that are in line with my stacking strategy. So I was very happy to pick things up that are actual products on my store. I was able to get a nice cost on them, in some cases average down my cost, and just restock items for the store so that I can then turn back around and provide those to the community members when they're looking for them. That's what SBS is all about. We like to always have things available and accessible, and so if there's ever anything that you don't see on the website, there's a possibility that we might have it and we just haven't had a chance to kind of get it on the site yet. So we're here as a resource as well. If you ever are looking for something, just reach out. We've got a contact form on our website, and feel free to just reach out and we'll be happy to assist you or direct you into the right direction. Outside of that, I guess we have already done our auction, so we've started doing our whatnot auctions kind of early morning before we do our YouTube premieres. So hope those who joined the auction enjoyed it, and if you're not following us on whatnot, be sure to be following us there. Be sure to follow us on all of our socials. Go to solo.to/silverbarstacker, and you'll go to our landing page where you can find all of our social media pages and platforms that we sell on and promote stuff and educate people about. So hope you have a great day. Thank you so much to Spokane Silver Stacker for the awesome goodies and the awesome prices, and be sure to give them a follow and subscription, and thank you so much for tuning in. Cheers.